All right, so this is a video tutorial for assignment 3. So I already opened up my code from the last example here in from my previous assignment here. So I'm just going to go ahead because it looks like it's going off. I'm just going to do word wrap. So I'm going to view, toggle word wrap, and that way it's a little more like this. I'm like, I think I wrote more than that, but that was because it was going off. Okay, so I can see it here. On the right, I have the what the assignment is. Here's what this actually looks like as the thing. Okay, so it might make sense just for you to split your screen. You keep this on one side and this on the other, and then every time you save it, just refresh this so you can see the two things. If you have double monitors, that's even better. But anyway, first thing I want to mention is this. So the third and final assignment basically is just to polish it up and make it look nicer. You know what I mean? We're going to cover a couple more, or we would have, I guess when you're watching this, we would have covered a couple more CSS properties here. Okay, and you can kind of see these here. So what we're going to do is basically do something similar. We're going to utilize some of those to some degree, and then we're going to basically set that up from there. All right. So first off, if you look at what you should do every time before you start any assignment, it's not my classes, it's all classes, is just see what the assignment is, right? Because the whole point is to get the best grade possible. You know, you can't beat a game if you don't know what the rules are. So as usual, basic document structure and file structure. So you should have something that looks like this. So I have a master folder called Cone Biography. In there I have the index, and I got a CSS folder, images, JavaScript. In my images folder, I had these pictures, right? Some of them aren't even useful, but they're in there anyway. And then I have, there's nothing in either one of these, but I could potentially have something. And then I have this, and I just opened up this, and this is here, and I double clicked on it, and that was there. Okay, so just make sure that you have that correctly. Make sure you incorporate a variety of HTML rules and stuff, and that they all look correct, and you know that you're not just doing basic stuff. The other part here is the images. So I made another video tutorial which should be up underneath when I talk about Photoshop quickly. Basically, you should just make sure all your pictures are edited and scaled correctly. So if you, again, if I look at mine and go to my images folder, I actually went through, and I don't know if you can tell, but I already cropped this. This was actually in this image, but I cropped it and I took out the background so I can use this for something as well. All right. But basically, I already adjusted both of these, and so I can utilize these for this next thing here. Okay. But you should make sure all of your pictures are edited. All right. The main thing I worry about is that they are the correct size, even more than that they, you know, that you edited the saturation and the, you know, really made them pop. I mean, you should do that, but I want to make sure they're the correct size more than anything else. Okay. So that being said, so now what we're going to do is I'm just going to take this and try to make this look a little bit better. All right. So, we could do that a bunch of different ways. The first thing that I would tell you to do, and let's see, did I do it here? I didn't really use, oh, I did do, okay. So, see, I got this div in here. I got div, ID, and then I got, first thing I would do is break this into chunks, okay? That would be, let's just go ahead and scale. Okay, I break this into chunks and kind of go from there, all right? So, I got this top chunk here. Did I already break that up? Let's see, okay. So I'm going to take this picture, my name and all that, I'm gonna make that into a div, just so that it's clearly like a separate, you know, piece, okay? So to do that, I'm just gonna go ahead and make a div first. So we'll do a div, and I'll give an ID equals, and we'll just call this title pic, okay? Because this is the title and picture. And then it automatically grabbed that. So I'm just gonna middle mouse button, click and drag it down here. And I'm just gonna, oops, okay, that's not what I wanted. All right, tab. And then that means all these other ones need to tab in because they're parented to it. So I'm just going to tab that in. All right, now the other thing I want to do is I want to take this chunk here, these elements, and make those a piece. And then I'm going to take this out and actually put underneath my, I'm kind of winging it. Really, I should have its design already kind of up. I'm going to take these and make this one chunk and take this picture and make that like a separate chunk. So, because the title and subtitle kind of go together. So I make another div in here, div, ID equals, and we'll just call this title and sub, title sub. Okay, that way we know what that is. And I'm going to take this, Control X to cut. And after this, I'm going to just do, oops, not there, sorry. Hang on a second. I'm in after the paragraph, and we'll Control V. And so that basically, I got the opening and closing, and we will tab these in. All right, and then I'm gonna take this horizontal rule, and I'm gonna cut that. Control X to cut, and let me see. Do I want to put? No, we'll put it underneath. Okay, I'm gonna go underneath here, and I hit Control V to paste. So basically, after this big div here, and I'm gonna enter, just so that there's clearly spaces. So like this looks like a piece, right? Put it right here, and this looks like a piece. This is a separate thing, and we can basically control it this way. All right. Cool. All right. So I'm going to do is I'm going to try and have this, I think what I would like, let me see, I think I would like my name and then just go and find them. Maybe put the picture right here, like next to it. And I think that would look fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this part here a inline block. And then that will make this one set next to it. Okay. So I'm going to do hashtag, and it was title pick. Okay, because that's the name of this first section. All right. And then I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to do display. And I want to do inline block. Boop. And let's just go ahead and Control S, and then go over here and Control R. Okay, and let's see. And let's go ahead and also do the width of this. So we're going to do width. All right. And I'm going to set it equal to a percentage. I'm going to go 45% because it's a little under 50%. Okay. Control S. Go in here and make Control R to reframe. Okay. It isn't going to do anything that's really obvious. Now what I'm going to do is I already have, I'm going to make a div on this too, just in case. So we're going to go div, and we're going to put ID equals, and we'll say portrait. Okay, whatever. And that, and then we'll just take this, Control X, and tab Control V, and tab that in, and take this, and tab that one in. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Tab, there it goes. Okay, I'll go space there. All right, so I'm gonna go up here, and I'm just gonna copy this, Control C. And we're going to do the same thing on this one. Control V. Actually, no, you know what we'll do? We won't even do that. Watch. So if I want to apply it to two things to have the same, like, rules, I can do this. I can do comma, space, and then also put the other one there. So we'll do portrait. Control save. And refresh. And it didn't really work. Let's do this, just so I can see what's happening. Border. Oops, border, and we're just going to do solid. Control S, Control R. Okay. So now I can see my borders. Now if you look, you can see the picture is not quite fitting the way I would like. So what I do is I need to take my picture here, and on the top I have, let me see, the me pick, I have it at 540 pixels. Instead, let's do 45%. Okay. And now let's refresh. And now you can see it's going to be by percentage. All right, let's go down here, and we got title pick. Oh, because I did title pick, I wanted title sub. I did the wrong one. Because see, it's like nested inside of it. That's why that wasn't working. So let's do title sub. Control S, Control R. There it goes. Okay, so now they're stacking properly. Okay. That's a little better. All right, look, you take this border out now. Okay. So basically what I did is I just made each one of these inline block. And that's kind of what I'm going to do with some of this stuff is I'm just going to make them inline block and make them just a specific width. And that'll give me room in order to, I didn't save it, Control S and Control R. That'll give me room to basically, you know, to make everything look the way I want. So I can have like little chunks, right? So if you look, I have 3 chunks here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these, give them a div, and then I will take that div and I will also do kind of the same thing where they are inline block. Okay, so let's say I want to take each one of these and have these each be like 3 columns in a row. All right, I'm going to show you how to do that. So what I'm going to do, and that's kind of what I did up there. So I'm going to take the humble beginnings all the way, and then, so basically in between each one of these H3 is like a new paragraph, right? So between each one of those, I'm going to add basically a div. So we're going to go ahead and do a div, and I'm going to do class equals, because I'm going to put this on all of them. And we're going to call this, I don't know, we'll do par section for paragraph section, par section, okay? And it's going to be that stupid closing, and I'll just Control X to cut that, and I'm going to put it at the end of this one, Control V, and then we'll tab that in. Take this whole chunk here and tab that in so you can clearly see, and I'm just going to hit enter. It's just good if you, this way, like if I put a space between it, it makes it obvious that this is a chunk, okay? And I'm literally going to copy this. I'm going to do Control C, or you can right click and copy. And I'm just going to do the exact same thing here. Control V to paste that. And I'll just delete that for now. And I'll take this whole section here and tab it in. And then enter, back this up, and close my div. Okay. And then I'm just going to do Control V, or you can right click and paste. I just did Control V last time, but okay. And then I'll take this whole section again, and tab that in, and after, oops, not that, thank you. After this, back this up, and go ahead and close my, whoa, what happened? Never mind, I must have hit a hotkey. Go ahead and close that div. All right, so now if you look, I got each one of these, let me hit enter, okay. Each one of these, I got a pair section, okay? But I made it a class because it's getting applied to 3 things, not just one. The other ones are only applying to 1. I really could have just done class because if you look, I end up doing this, but it's good to know that anyway. All right, so it's dot pair section is what we named it, braces, and we're just gonna do the same thing. Display inline, or we're gonna do inline block, block, and then what we're gonna do after that. Now, I'm going by percentages because that way it'll be fluid. So if you look, let me take this. If I stretch this out, you'll see that the picture kind of gets bigger and it moves with it. I could, see, I could just do sizes, but then if it got really big, they wouldn't get wider. I think I'm going to go ahead and just make them, like by percentage. I just think that makes the most sense. So I'm going to do width. All right. And then, so 33 would be 1/3, right? And that leaves me a little bit because, you would leave you with 1 more %. So I think if I do, let's do instead 30%. 30%. Where are you at? 30 per, I'm looking for the percent. Okay. All right, and then we'll just save that, and we'll hit Control R. And if you look, see, it kind of, this one popped down here. I'm not 100% sure why that happens. That they don't, I think they're bottom aligned is what it is. I want it to be top aligned. So let's try also in here, we're going to do vertical align, and then text top. I'm not sure if that's even right. Let's see, Control R. There we go. So vertical line, text top, and now you'll see they're aligning on the top, not on the bottom, which is kind of a dumb way for it to think to do it. Okay. Now, if you look, you see how it's ending right here, and it's not going to the edge? The reason why, if you remember, on the very top I did this content, and I made the content, if we go over here, I'm assuming, see I made it with 75%. So this only ever goes to 75%, which is kind of disappointing. Now, I could take that out, and I'll just do that real quick so you can see. Let's delete that, right? And I'll save it, Control S, and I hit Control R. And now you see it goes to full breadth, which is fine, and that works pretty good. But let's do something different. Let's Control Z. Oops. Control Z. Let's leave that 75%. But then what we'll do is we'll do let's see. We'll do margin just on the left. Okay. Now, if it's 75, that means we have 25 left over. So if I do 12% on this side, that would leave roughly 12% on this side. So it'd be kind of like centered. So I'm going to go ahead and do 12. Well, it should be 12.5%. Okay. We'll save that, and if I Control R, now we'll see basically it put that section kind of, you know, in the middle-ish there, and that's kind of cool, right? So now I've broken this down into a couple of chunks, which works pretty good, and this is also kind of responsive. So watch this. If I expand it, it goes like this, and so it's not responsive. It's technically liquid, but whoops, that's not what I wanted. Get over here. Okay, so that's looking kind of, you know, okay. And we did that. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. All right, so Jonathan Cohn, yada, yada, yada. So this, if you look here, it's kind of at the bottom because, again, it's doing the alignment on the bottom. So what we're going to do is I have this section right here. So that's title sub. So I'm just going to do another one, title, oops, sorry, hashtag title sub. Okay. And again, it's because this is it right here. I'm going to take this chunk, which is this right here. And I'm just going to copy this. Control C, Control V. And we're not going to do text top. I'm going to do text, I think let's see that bottom. I think, is there a middle? I think it'd be center. That doesn't seem to be working either. Center? That's how I remember it being. Control Enter. Ah, it's not working. This vertical line never works. Let's do middle. Okay, Control S, Control R. Ugh, that's no better. I'm not real happy with that. Let's do text top again. Text top. Control S, Control R. It's making it worse. Alright, let's just get rid of that altogether. Control S, Control R. Yeah, we'll just stick with that. That's fine for now. Alright. So that's okay. The only other thing too that I noticed is that if you look, you can see like I feel like there's a bigger gap over here. I don't know, I guess I'm okay with that. Alright, so now what I might do is basically kind of adjust some of these colors too, which we did talk about, I think, last class, but instead of these colors, which actually I don't mind them too bad, but I'm going to make it like my website where it's all like that one orange color. So I'm going to go to this, and I'm just going to type in w3schools.com, scroll all the way to the bottom, or not all the way to the bottom. They have this little color picker, and click on that, and here I can start to work on colors. So we'll start with that, hit this little HTML. And I don't like the way that this is. It's kind of ugly. Okay, let's like that, and yeah, I don't know. We'll hit OK. So we'll take that. God, that's really ugly. Maybe there's something better in here. Let's see. Take this one. Okay, so I'm gonna take that. I'd like it more gray. Let's see. Do that, but pull it down so it's not so saturated. Maybe pull that up a little bit. Okay. Well, imagine I chose a good color. So I like that color. I can just choose any one of these. I usually just do this one, but literally any one works. Control C. And wherever I have, let me look at my thing here. This color, which I guess is, I don't know, it's not dark gray. This light slate gray, I'm just going to replace that with that thing I copied. So I'm just going to hover over it, Control V to paste. And then where else do we have it? Right here. This, Control V to paste. I'm just going to Control S and Control R. And now you can see it has that orange on there instead. And I could do the same thing with the background gray color here. So just to make it a little more custom. Let's take this, and we will, let me see if it's orange. We'll go more into, I think, cool kind of purple might be alright. And then let's make this lighter. Okay, this way it's a little more custom. So where I see light gray, I'm going to go ahead and replace it with this. So, let's see, light gray for the background color of the body. So that's what I want to replace. Control V. Alright, and we'll just Control S to save. Oops, Control R. And now it's got a little bit of a purplish tone. Matches my shirt a little bit more. I think it actually looks worse than it did before. Now I'm going to take this dark, what I used, that dark gray. I'm just going to find a color for that. So let's just, I'm just going to click here and use this one. Control C. But basically you should go through and Control V, Control V, Control V, and up here, Control V, Control S, come back here, Control R, you can hit the refresh button, and there we go. Okay. Now, what else could I do? I could do some other things. So, so right here I have this Teach Me Cone. Why don't I use my icon instead to do that? So down in here, because I made that other picture, now that's portrait. I'm just going to go ahead and instead of write teach me cone, I'm just going to put that picture in there. So I'm going to delete that and then put img src equals, and then quotes, and then it should be images / and then I think I did cone icon dot png is what mine is, like that I think it is, and then like that. Control S. I don't even know if that's right. Control R. Oh, it worked. Okay. Now if you look, it's kind of big, so I should fix that in the other thing. But I'm going to do it right here just because I'm lazy. So we'll do width equals, and we'll set it to, let's say, 50 pixels. Okay. And control, oops, let's not do that. Fix pixels. Control S, Control R, and now it's a smaller icon. Okay. But you can see he's got transparency from before. Let's see. I mean, mostly what I would tell you to do is to use that thing that I suggested earlier. You know, okay, so here's another thing I could do. Let's say I don't really, the horizontal rule we're somewhat limited on. I like the idea of having a line there, but I wish it was like maybe this color, like this one is. I can make that relatively easy. So what I'm going to do is where there's this, I'm going to put an empty div. So watch. We're going to go div, ID, and I'm just going to call it custom HR, okay? Quotes. And then, okay. So it's just an empty div, there's nothing in it. But what I'm going to do is up here, I'm going to do, whoop, custom HR, custom horizontal rule. And then what I'm going to do is do border hyphen bottom hyphen, actually, we'll do the abbreviated. So I could do border bottom and then style and then width and so on and so forth. But I'm just going to do border bottom and define all of them in one line. And so I think it's, God, I can't remember what it is. Solid, okay. Then I think it's probably pixels. So let's say 3 pixels. And then it would be color. So I don't know. Oh, I want it to be that other color up here. So I'll just take this. Okay, Control C, Control V, and that should be good. And we'll Control S and Control R. And now what you're gonna see is, look, I got that because I just did I made an empty thing, but I put a border on it. Now you'll notice that now this is shoved right up on it. So what I'm gonna do is also add, not padding, it's gotta be margin. Margin, and we're going to do bottom, so it's only, oops, I meant hyphen bottom, and then we'll, I don't know, we'll say we add 25 pixels, okay? And that'll give a gap there. Control R, oops, Control R, and now there's a gap there again, okay? But I was able to make like a custom thing like that. I mean, that's stuff you could do as well. And there's a bunch of other CSS properties that you could, you know, apply, okay? Without like this being really long, but you get the idea. The main thing is to try and just break things into these divs so you can make them, you can organize them a little bit better. So if you want to shove something or move something down or, you know, you can do that. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we're going to call that good.